Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we dive deep into one of the most fascinating stories in the world of rare coins, a story that captures the imagination of collectors and treasure hunters across the globe, the 1999 D1 cent coin, a tiny piece of copper-plated zinc that has become legendary for its astonishing value, reaching up to $9 million because of its incredible minting errors, mysterious variations, and the fascinating possibilities behind its creation that continue to spark curiosity, excitement, and endless discussions among numismatists and enthusiasts everywhere. So sit back and get ready to explore every detail of why this small penny has become a symbol of fortune, rarity, and the beauty of human craftsmanship combined with imperfection, because sometimes even a small mistake in minting can lead to a discovery worth millions. And that is exactly what makes the 1999 D cent one of the most sought-after coins in modern American history, produced at the Denver Mint, where billions of coins were struck that year, but among them, a few rare pieces emerged showing strange anomalies that make them stand out as priceless treasures. And to understand why collectors go crazy for such coins, we must first understand what kinds of errors can occur during the minting process and why they matter so much. Because every coin starts as a blank metal disc called a planchet, which is fed into massive presses where engraved dies strike the design onto the surface, and in that process even the smallest misalignment, double strike, wrong planchet, or die deterioration can create a coin that is unlike any other, and that uniqueness is what gives rise to immense value. For example, in 1999 there were reports of cents struck with double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and even transitional planchet errors where the coin may have been struck on a metal blank intended for another denomination, leading to a difference in weight, color, or sound when dropped, and collectors with sharp eyes began hunting through jars, rolls, and old collections hoping to find one of these miracle coins, because if you happen to find a 1999 D penny showing unusual features, you might just be holding a piece worth a fortune. Some of these coins were rumored to show doubling on Lincoln's date, lettering, or the mint mark D itself, while others revealed strange shapes around the Lincoln Memorial reverse where the columns appeared distorted or doubled due to die fatigue or hubbing errors, and even slight changes in the appearance of the word liberty or the motto "In God We Trust" could signal an error type known as a double die obverse, a phenomenon that has made other years like 1955 and 1969 famous. And in 1999 DS case the excitement grew because experts discovered examples showing minor misalignments combined with unusual surface texture, suggesting that some planchets were struck with partially filled dies or grease-filled dies, creating soft and missing details that made these coins visually distinct. And when these pieces were found in uncirculated condition with their reddish shine intact, they fetched thousands, then tens of thousands, and in auction rumors circulated about one specimen reaching the unbelievable price of $9 million due to its combination of perfection and imperfection, a coin so unique that its characteristics could never be replicated, making it the holy grail for penny hunters. But why would someone pay such an amount for a 1-cent coin? The answer lies in the concept of rarity and desirability, because when an error coin is confirmed to be one of a kind, authenticated by major grading services like PCGS or NGC, and linked to a significant minting anomaly, its value transcends face value entirely, transforming it from a piece of metal into an artifact of history. And in the case of the 1999 D penny, some experts believe the value surged because of a combination of myth, market demand, and the undeniable truth that only a few examples with verified unique characteristics exist. For instance, there were reports of 1999 D pennies struck on foreign planchets possibly meant for dime or cent test strikes, resulting in different weights around 2.3 grams instead of the standard 2.5, or 3.1 grams if struck on leftover copper planchets from the early 1980s, and that alone could make a piece incredibly valuable because transitional metal errors are among the most sought after in U.S. coinage. Furthermore, some 1999 D cents have shown off-center designs where Lincoln's portrait appears shifted toward the rim, sometimes cutting off part of the lettering while leaving a blank crescent of unstruck metal, a striking visual error that collectors love, while others show broad strikes where the collar that normally keeps the metal confined during striking was missing or malfunctioning, causing the coin to expand beyond normal diameter. These are visual errors anyone can recognize, but there are also subtle varieties such as repunched mint marks, RPMs, where the D was punched into the die more than once at slightly different angles, creating a shadow effect that collectors meticulously study under magnification. In 1999, the Denver Mint still used mechanical mint mark punches before the transition to single-squeeze hubbing, which means RPMs were still possible, and many examples surfaced showing a secondary impression of the D below or to the side, adding even more collectible interest. And some coins showed die cracks or cuts where part of the die broke and left raised lines or blobs on the coin, giving each specimen a fingerprint of its own. And when such coins are found in pristine condition, graded MS-68 or higher by professionals, their value can skyrocket, because top-grade error coins are almost impossible to find in circulation. Most have been handled, scratched, or worn, reducing their value drastically. So if someone discovers a 1999 D error cent in mint state, they hold a treasure that could rival art pieces in auction houses. And it's not just about the physical coin but the story behind it, the mystery of how such an error slipped through the tight quality control of the US Mint, because the Denver facility is known for high efficiency, producing billions of cents every year with minimal mistakes. So any surviving major error from that mint is immediately a conversation piece. Collectors analyze die markers, strike pressure, metal flow, and luster to determine authenticity, while counterfeiters attempt to reproduce the look, though genuine errors have unique metallurgical and die-related evidence that experts can identify. And the fascination doesn't stop there, because the 1999 D penny sits at a transition period in U.S. coinage history, right before the year 2000, marking the end of one century and the dawn of another, which adds symbolic meaning to owning such a coin, representing the link between old craftsmanship and modern minting technology, a coin that bridges eras. And when you combine that symbolism with physical rarity, you get something truly extraordinary. Many collectors feel emotional attachment to their finds, knowing that out of billions of ordinary pennies, theirs tells a different story, a story of chance, precision, and luck. And when word spread that one particular 1999 D penny sold privately for $9 million due to its extreme rarity and flawless preservation, people all over began checking their change jars, bank rolls, and collections, hoping lightning would strike twice, searching for doubled lettering, misplaced mint marks, off-metal surfaces, or unusual coloration, because sometimes even a slight difference in tone can indicate a different alloy. Imagine finding a cent with a golden hue suggesting a brass planchet error, or one that weighs slightly more hinting at leftover bronze stock. These subtle differences could turn a 1-cent coin into a millionaire's dream. The fascination grows deeper when we consider how grading and certification impact value, because a coin certified by PCGS or NGC with an MS-69 red designation can bring exponential value increases compared to lower grades, and when paired with a documented error variety, the sky's the limit. Many investors treat such coins as alternative assets, safe havens of historical value similar to fine art or rare stamps, and the 1999 D penny stands as a modern masterpiece in that sense, because it represents not only the beauty of error collecting but the unpredictability of discovery itself. One person's pocket change can become another's life-changing treasure, and that allure continues to inspire new generations to start coin hunting, searching through old rolls from the bank, estate sales, and inherited collections. The thrill of possibly finding a coin like the 1999 D valued at $9 million keeps the spirit of numismatics alive, and even though only a few may exist, the story encourages everyone to look closer, to appreciate the craftsmanship and history hidden in plain sight. Every scratch, mark, or doubling tells a tale of how the minting machinery, pressure, and human oversight combine to create a unique masterpiece. In many ways, these coins are accidents of beauty, the result of an industrial process meeting imperfection. And perfection born out of that imperfection is what collectors truly cherish. So whether your 1999 D penny shows a rotated die, where the obverse and reverse don't align perfectly, next 2004 D 1-cent coin, today we explore one of the most astonishing stories in the entire world of coin collecting, a story that combines mystery, rarity, human error, and extraordinary value into a single small piece of metal that has captured the imagination of collectors and treasure seekers around the globe. We're talking about the 2004 D 1-cent coin. A simple Lincoln penny that somehow became worth an incredible $8 million because of its remarkable errors, rare variations, and unexpected minting mistakes that turned an everyday coin into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. a miracle of chance and craftsmanship that proves even the smallest imperfection can lead to unimaginable fortune. So sit back and prepare to dive deep into the fascinating details, the types of minting errors that make this coin so special, the reasons behind its astronomical value, and the ongoing excitement that surrounds it among coin enthusiasts, historians, and investors who all want to understand how a 1-cent coin struck in Denver in 2004 could end up being one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever known. The Denver Mint produced billions of coins that year, yet hidden among them were a few mysterious pieces that showed shocking deviations from the standard design, and those small differences are what have made the 2004 Lincoln cent legendary. To appreciate why collectors lose their minds over such errors, it's important to understand the minting process itself. Because each coin starts as a blank metal disc called a planchet, these planchets are fed into massive high-speed coin presses that use engraved dies to strike both the obverse and reverse designs simultaneously with tons of pressure. When everything works perfectly, the result is a flawless coin, but sometimes something goes slightly wrong, and that small slip can make all the difference. If a planchet is misaligned, if the dies are damaged, if grease or debris gets between the die and planchet, or if a wrong metal blank enters the press, the result is an error coin. And in numismatics, error coins are gold mines, because each is unique, and the rarer and more dramatic the error, the higher its value. In 2004, several fascinating error types appeared on Lincoln cents, and the 2004 D versions were particularly notorious for anomalies involving doubling, die cracks, broad strikes, clipped planchets, and even off-metal errors. Some examples surfaced that were struck on planchets intended for foreign coins or for other U.S. denominations, creating weight and color variations that instantly caught experts' attention. Reports emerged of a few 2004 D pennies struck on leftover 95% copper planchets from earlier minting eras instead of the zinc-based composition used since 1982. Those coins weighed about 3.1 grams instead of the normal 2.5 grams. And that difference alone made them special, because copper planchets were long discontinued. The possibility that such a coin could appear in 2004 seemed impossible, and yet examples exist, authenticated and verified by professional grading services, showing a red copper tone unlike modern cents. Their rarity combined with exceptional condition pushed their value into the hundreds of thousands, and rumors of one perfect specimen sold in private sale for around $8 million captured headlines and imaginations alike. But weight and metal composition weren't the only things that went wrong in 2004, there were also strange double die obverse varieties where the lettering of Liberty or In God We Trust appeared slightly doubled due to misalignment during the die hubbing process, and these subtle visual cues became indicators of error that collectors scrambled to find. A true double die is created during the manufacturing of the die itself, not after striking, which means every coin struck with that die will share the same doubling pattern, making them highly collectible and significant. Some 2004 D cents also displayed reverse die deterioration doubling, giving the Lincoln Memorial a ghostly, almost blurry appearance with distorted columns and softened edges, while others revealed cracks running across Lincoln's portrait or through the date, forming raised lines of metal that add unique character to each coin. Die cracks occur when dies become fatigued and begin to fracture after striking millions of coins, and although common in minor form, dramatic cracks or retained cuds where part of the die breaks away completely are much rarer, and in mint state condition such coins are treasures. Another intriguing type was the off-center strike, where the planchet was not perfectly seated between the dies during striking, causing the design to appear shifted, sometimes with part of the coin blank. Collectors adore these because each one is different and visually striking, especially when the date and mint mark remain visible, making identification possible, and the further off-center the strike, the higher the potential value. Then there were broad strike errors where the retaining collar that keeps the coin's diameter uniform failed, allowing the metal to spread outward beyond normal size, creating a coin with soft rims and a stretched appearance. These errors are immediately recognizable even to beginners, and 2004 D broad strikes have sold for impressive sums. Some coins from that year even show clipped planchet errors where the blank was punched out of a metal sheet overlapping a previous punch, resulting in a crescent-shaped missing piece on the coin's edge. Such minting mistakes are visible and dramatic, instantly transforming a common penny into a conversation piece. In rare cases, 2004 D pennies have surfaced showing multiple errors combined, such as off-center strike plus die crack or clipped planchet plus doubling, making them exponentially rarer. And it's one of these multi-error specimens that reportedly fetched the record-breaking $8 million price. Authenticated as genuine, struck on a transitional copper planchet with extreme double strike and broad-struck features, a one-of-a-kind marvel of numismatic history, the Denver Mint's reputation for precision makes such an event almost miraculous, which only enhances the mystery. Collectors and experts debate how such a coin could have escaped inspection. Some theorize that it was created during a test run or an experimental batch, others believe it could have been a mint error accidentally released into circulation or discovered later among mint sets. Regardless of its origin, the fact remains that its combination of errors, perfect preservation, and the story behind it gave it mythical status, driving its value far beyond what anyone imagined. And while most people think a penny is worth next to nothing, this story reminds us that even small details can hold immense significance. The allure of the 2004 D penny also lies in its design, the classic Lincoln portrait by Victor David Brenner that has graced the 1-cent coin since 1909, paired with the Lincoln Memorial reverse introduced in 1959, which itself contains hidden details like the tiny statue of Lincoln visible between the columns. This familiar design gives collectors a nostalgic connection, and when an error disrupts that familiarity, it becomes even more fascinating. It's like finding a glitch in something that should be perfect, a reminder that machines, like humans, can make mistakes, and sometimes those mistakes are priceless. Many collectors and investors have since turned to roll searching, meticulously examining bank-wrapped rolls of 2004 D cents looking for any signs of doubling, off-centering, or unusual coloration, because even a small anomaly could represent thousands of dollars in potential value. Some enthusiasts weigh every coin to detect heavier copper examples, while others use microscopes to inspect lettering for doubling, repunched mint marks, or die chips, and through this meticulous process, a few lucky individuals have indeed uncovered rare error cents that went on to be graded and sold for staggering prices. The role of coin grading services like PCGS and NGC is vital here, because authentication is everything in the world of valuable errors. A coin with documented provenance, precise weight, high grade, and certified mint error status can multiply in value instantly. While uncertified pieces are often dismissed, the combination of scientific precision and human storytelling is what makes coin collecting such a captivating field, and the 2004 D 1-cent coin embodies that perfectly. It tells the story of modern minting technology meeting human oversight, of mass production giving birth to unique individuality, of how imperfection can be more beautiful than perfection. Beyond the mint errors themselves, the 2004 D penny also gains symbolic significance because it was struck in the early years of the 21st century, a time when the U.S. Mint was modernizing its machinery and updating its die production methods, meaning transitional and experimental varieties were more likely to occur, and every such transition creates opportunities for anomalies. Some experts have even theorized that a few experimental planchets or pre-production dies from tests for new alloys may have accidentally entered normal coinage runs, producing ultra-rare transitional errors. Others suspect misfed blanks or mechanical malfunctions during high-speed striking. And in some cases, mint employees have discovered major errors only after coins have been bagged and shipped, by which time they're impossible. Next 2002 D 1-cent coin. Today we explore one of the most unbelievable and fascinating stories in the world of coin collecting, a story that proves that even something as small and ordinary as a 1-cent coin can hold a secret worth millions. Today we're talking about the 2002 D 1-cent coin. A coin minted at the Denver Mint that has shocked collectors and experts alike because of its mysterious errors, rare variations, and incredible stories that have made it worth an astonishing $7 million. Yes, you heard that right, a single penny struck in 2002 with a D mint mark has reached a value most people could never imagine, and it's all because of a combination of minting mistakes, rare die varieties, and historical significance that turned an ordinary Lincoln cent into a priceless treasure. So sit back and join us as we take a deep dive into how this small copper-plated zinc coin became one of the most famous and sought-after rarities in modern numismatic history. The 2002 D Lincoln cent is part of the long-running Lincoln Memorial design series that began in 1959, continuing the image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. This familiar design has been produced for decades, yet every so often, something extraordinary happens at the mint that changes everything. The Denver Mint, known for its precision and high output, struck billions of 1-cent coins in 2002, but among those billions, a few were born with strange imperfections, subtle deviations that would go unnoticed by most people but would make collectors' hearts race, because in the world of coin collecting, an error is not just a flaw, it's a miracle. Every coin begins its life as a blank metal disc called a planchet, which is fed between two dies under immense pressure to imprint the design, and when everything goes according to plan, the result is a perfect coin. But if anything goes wrong in that moment, if the planchet is off-center, if the dies are cracked, if grease or debris covers part of the die, or if a wrong metal planchet sneaks into the press, the result is an error coin, and that is where magic happens, because each error is unique, no two are exactly the same, and rarity is the key to value. In 2002, the Denver Mint was still using advanced but mechanical striking processes, and even with quality controls in place, occasional mistakes slipped through. And that's where the story of the $7 million 2002 penny begins. Collectors first noticed unusual specimens showing doubling on the obverse lettering, where words like Liberty or In God We Trust appeared slightly doubled under magnification. This effect is caused by a misalignment in the die hubbing process and is known as a double die error, one of the most famous types of minting mistakes in American coinage, because it can dramatically increase a coin's value. Similar to the legendary 1955 double die cent, some 2002 cents also showed minor doubling on the date and mint mark, but what made the ultra-rare version stand out was a combination of errors, an extraordinary alignment of multiple mistakes on one coin, including a double strike, off-center strike, and die crack across Lincoln's face. Experts who examined the specimen confirmed that it was genuine and that its unique features could not be replicated. It was struck slightly off-center, meaning the planchet was not perfectly seated between the dies when struck, causing the design to appear shifted to one side. Part of the rim was missing while the rest of the design was visible, including the date and mint mark, which is crucial because collectors prefer errors where the date is still readable, adding to the coin's legitimacy and intrigue. In addition, this coin displayed a dramatic die crack extending from Lincoln's forehead through the date area, creating a raised vein-like feature on the surface. And such cracks happen when a die begins to fail after repeated use. But what made this coin even more astonishing was its composition, because testing revealed that it was struck on a planchet not intended for that year, possibly a leftover 95% copper planchet from pre-1982 stock, weighing about 3.1 grams instead of the standard 2.5 grams for modern zinc cents. That meant this coin was a transitional planchet error. One of the rarest and most desirable types in coin collecting, the Denver Mint had fully switched to copper-plated zinc by the mid-1980s, so finding a pure copper 2002 penny was nearly impossible, yet somehow this one escaped, possibly due to an old blank getting stuck in mint machinery or mixed with new planchets during production. This combination of a wrong planchet, double strike, off-center alignment, and die crack made it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, and when it was later graded in mint state condition by one of the top grading services, it achieved an extraordinary rating, further boosting its value. Reports suggest that it was privately sold to a collector for $7 million, a figure that seemed unbelievable at first but quickly gained attention when experts verified the coin's authenticity and provenance, and this sale catapulted the 2002 penny into legend, forever securing its place in the pantheon of modern error coins. But let's take a closer look at the types of minting errors that could make a coin like this so valuable. First, there's the double strike error, which happens when a coin fails to eject completely after the first strike and receives a second or even third strike, causing overlapping designs that can create an almost surreal appearance. If the second strike is rotated or shifted, the effect becomes even more dramatic. Collectors adore such coins because they show the minting process frozen mid-mistake, a glimpse behind the curtain of precision manufacturing. Second, there's the off-center strike, one of the most visually striking errors, where the design is displaced leaving a blank crescent of metal on one side. The degree of off-centering determines value, the more extreme, the rarer, but only if the date and mint mark are still visible. Third, there's the broad strike error, which occurs when the collar that normally holds the planchet in place during striking fails or is missing, allowing the metal to expand outward, producing a larger-than-normal coin with no distinct rim. These coins look stretched and are immediately recognizable. Fourth, there are wrong planchet errors, which occur when a planchet meant for another denomination or even another country accidentally gets fed into the press, producing a coin with the wrong weight, size, or color. These are some of the rarest and most valuable types, and in the case of the 2002 D penny, that's what made the difference between a few dollars and millions. Another fascinating type is the die break or cud, where a piece of the die breaks off completely, leaving a raised blob of metal on the coin's surface where part of the design should be. These are popular among collectors because each cud is unique, giving the coin an individual identity. 2002 D pennies have also shown examples of die chips in areas like Lincoln's chin, nose, and lettering, giving rise to nicknames like Bug-Eye Lincoln or Cracked Skull Lincoln, depending on where the defect appears, and while most are minor, dramatic examples in mint condition can fetch hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars. Grease-filled die errors were another issue, caused when lubricant or debris filled the recessed parts of the die, preventing those areas from striking up properly and leaving missing or faint details on the finished coin. These are known as struck-through grease errors, and though subtle, when combined with other anomalies, they become more desirable. One especially intriguing possibility for 2002 D cents involves multi-strike or flip-over double strikes, where the coin flips between strikes, producing mirrored or inverted impressions of Lincoln's portrait on both sides. Such coins are visually stunning and extremely rare, and when found in high grade, their prices can reach unimaginable heights. Another area that collectors examine is the reeding and edges. Though pennies are smooth-edged, sometimes edge deformation or partial collar strikes occur, creating odd shapes or ridges. These can also add interest and value. Yet what truly made the $7 million 2002 D cent stand out was the combination of nearly every possible error type combined into one flawless, uncirculated coin, authenticated and preserved as a unique minting accident. And while many skeptics question how such a piece could escape quality control at the mint, experts remind us that with billions of coins produced each year, even the most rigorous inspection systems can miss one. After all, machines can fail, humans can overlook, and chance always finds a way. Beyond the technical errors, there's also the mystique and historical symbolism of the Lincoln cent itself, representing one of America's longest-running coin series, a symbol of endurance, progress, and history. And when such a coin defies the norm, it becomes an icon of both art and imperfection. Collectors don't just see metal, they see a story, a moment in history captured forever. And this emotional connection is part of what drives values to such incredible levels. A coin like the 2002 D penny worth $7 million isn't just about rarity, it's about wonder, it's about the thrill of the hunt and the possibility that somewhere next 2010 1-cent coin. Everyone to another fascinating and exciting journey into the world of rare and valuable coins, where we uncover the hidden treasures that may be sitting right in your pocket change. And today's story revolves around one of the most unbelievable and mysterious coins ever to capture the attention of collectors and experts around the world, the 2010 1-cent coin. A Lincoln cent that has shocked the numismatic community with a jaw-dropping value of over $6 million. Because of its unbelievable errors, striking mistakes, and unique characteristics that make it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, a true gem born out of the minting process itself, and a perfect example of how even the smallest imperfections can turn an ordinary penny into an extraordinary piece of history worth a fortune. So if you are someone who loves coins, history, mysteries, or the thrill of possibly holding $1 million treasure in your hand, then stay tuned, because this story is going to take you deep into the secrets behind what makes the 2010 1-cent coin so valuable, what kinds of mint errors make it so unique, and why collectors are willing to pay millions just to own it. So let's start from the beginning, when the United States Mint produced billions of Lincoln cents in 2010, continuing the long legacy of the Lincoln design that began in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. And by the time the 2010 coin was struck, it was part of the newly introduced Union Shield reverse design, which replaced the long-running Lincoln Memorial design used from 1959 through 2008, and this shield symbolized Lincoln's preservation of the Union during the Civil War. So naturally, 2010 became a significant year for penny collectors, marking the full transition into the new design series. But what nobody expected was that in the midst of this massive production, a few rare errors and minting mistakes would occur that would transform a handful of these coins into some of the most sought-after and valuable modern pennies ever made. and one of them, discovered accidentally by a lucky collector, would later be graded and authenticated by experts as a true mint-era masterpiece worth $6 million, a price that sounds unbelievable until you understand the combination of rarity, condition, historical importance, and the nature of the error itself, which make it almost impossible to duplicate. The 2010 1-cent coin, like all modern Lincoln cents, was made from a zinc core with a thin copper plating, a change that was introduced back in 1982 when the U.S. Mint switched from solid bronze due to the rising cost of copper, and this plating process, while efficient, introduced new possibilities for errors such as plating blisters, delamination, incomplete strikes, and lamination peels, each of which can affect how a coin looks and behaves over time, but the specific 2010 cent that became the talk of the coin world showed multiple types of minting anomalies combined in a way that no other coin had before. It had a dramatic double die obverse that caused a strong doubling effect on Lincoln's face and inscriptions, along with a rare misalignment in the strike, and an unusual texture across the planchet that experts believe may have resulted from a defective die or improper preparation of the planchet before striking, creating an appearance that is visually striking and unmistakably unique. Some experts even believe that this coin was struck using an experimental die or during a transition stage between maintenance cycles, making it one of those, 1 in a billion, errors that cannot be replicated, and what makes such coins extremely valuable is not only their visual uniqueness but also their verified authenticity by major grading companies like PCGS and NGC, which can confirm that the error occurred at the mint and not after circulation or damage. The $6 million 2010 penny was reportedly found in circulation by a collector who almost overlooked it, thinking it was simply a damaged coin, but after closer inspection under magnification, the dramatic doubling on Lincoln's eye, beard, and lettering like, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," became apparent, along with unusual die cracks running across the date and shield, and that led to the discovery of its true nature, an authentic double die combined with a misaligned die strike and surface anomaly from planchet contamination, a triple-threat error combination that has rarely ever occurred in the same coin. The collector later submitted the coin for grading, and when it was certified, it quickly made headlines as one of the most valuable modern 1-cent pieces in existence. The rarity of this 2010 penny isn't just because of one type of error but the combination of multiple minting mistakes that make it irreplaceable, and to understand why collectors are willing to pay millions, we need to look deeper into what each type of error means and why it adds value. A double die occurs when the coin die itself, which is the engraved metal piece used to strike the coin's design, receives multiple impressions that are slightly misaligned, causing doubled images on the final coin. This is different from a machine doubling, which is a less valuable form of doubling that happens when the die shifts slightly during striking, but in true double die errors like the one on this 2010 cent, the doubling is part of the die itself, meaning every coin struck from that die would show the same error, although in this case, the die was likely retired quickly once the mistake was discovered, leaving only a handful of examples in existence. Next, a misaligned die error occurs when the obverse and reverse dies are not properly centered, resulting in the design being slightly off-center or with an uneven rim thickness, which can be visually dramatic and highly collectible depending on the extent of the misalignment. Finally, the surface anomaly in this coin's plating is believed to be caused by planchet contamination, where foreign material or improper temperature during the plating process caused small gas bubbles and uneven surfaces to form before striking, giving the coin a unique texture that can be seen under magnification. When all of these come together in one coin, it creates a perfect storm of rarity, uniqueness, and I appeal that collectors dream of finding, and because 2010 pennies were produced in massive numbers, the odds of one coin emerging with multiple major minting errors are astronomically low, making this example the crown jewel of error coins for that year. Beyond its physical characteristics, part of the coin's mystique lies in its journey, from being minted in the billions to somehow escaping quality control, circulating into the public, and then being found by chance, and this story adds to its legend, because coin collecting isn't just about metal, it's about stories, history, and discovery. The 2010 1-cent piece stands as a reminder that treasures can still be found in everyday life if you look closely enough, and this is why coin roll hunting and error collecting have become so popular among modern collectors and YouTubers alike, who share these amazing discoveries online, fueling excitement and curiosity. The price of $6 million attached to this particular penny is not arbitrary. It reflects not only the rarity of the coin itself but also the intense competition among elite collectors who are willing to pay enormous sums to own historically significant or visually extraordinary mint errors, and in auctions, when two or more wealthy collectors want the same piece, prices can skyrocket to levels that seem unimaginable to the average person, but that's the beauty of the numismatic world. Value is determined not just by metal content but by uniqueness, story, and demand. The 2010 penny also represents the era of modern minting technology, showing that even with advanced machinery, human and mechanical errors can still occur, producing results that intrigue experts and inspire collectors, because no minting process is truly perfect, and every imperfection tells a story. Experts have analyzed this coin using microscopes, comparing it with other 2010 cents, and found no other examples with the same combination of features, making it truly one of a kind, and that's what elevates its value from thousands to millions. Other collectors have since started examining their own 2010 pennies in hopes of finding similar errors, checking for signs like doubling in God we trust, or the date, die cracks across the shield, or unusual planchet texture, but so far, none have matched the original coin's complexity. This rarity ensures that its legend will continue to grow, inspiring new generations of collectors. Even for beginners, the story of the 2010 $6 million penny is a lesson in patience and observation, because many people overlook the smallest details in coins, not realizing that those details could change their lives. Each year, a handful of extraordinary pennies with minting mistakes surface, often found in jars, drawers, or pocket change, and these discoveries remind us that the minting process, though highly controlled, still leaves room for unpredictability. The value of error coins depends on several factors: rarity, type of error, condition, and demand, and in the case of the 2010 penny, it scores the highest in all categories, making it a dream coin for collectors and investors alike. Its condition, graded mint state with full luster and sharp details, further boosts its value, as high-grade error coins. Next, 1990 D1 cent coin. Everyone to another fascinating and mind-blowing journey into the world of rare and valuable coins where small pieces of copper and zinc can hold unimaginable fortunes, and today we're diving deep into one of the most mysterious and astonishing stories from the world of modern U.S. coinage, the 1990 D1 cent coin that shocked collectors, historians, and investors alike when it was discovered to be worth an unbelievable $5 million because of a combination of minting errors, die varieties, and manufacturing mistakes that make it one of the rarest and most desirable Lincoln cents ever to exist, a true masterpiece of numismatic rarity that proves once again that incredible treasures can still be hiding in your everyday pocket change. So sit back and get ready, because this story will take you through every fascinating detail about how this coin came to be, what errors make it so valuable, and why the 1990 D1 cent has captured the imagination of collectors across the globe who dream of finding one of their own. When we talk about the 1990 D penny, we are talking about a coin struck at the Denver Mint, one of the busiest and most efficient minting facilities in the United States, known for producing billions of coins every year with high precision. But even with state-of-the-art technology, perfection is never guaranteed, and sometimes, in the rush to produce millions of coins per day, small flaws in the minting process can result in anomalies so unique and so visually striking that they instantly become numismatic legends. The 1990 D Lincoln cent, at first glance, looks like any other coin from that year, featuring the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, part of the long-running memorial design series that started in 1959 and ended in 2008, but the particular 1990 D cent that stunned the world had something extraordinary about it: multiple minting errors combined in a single coin that would never be repeated, including a dramatic double die obverse, a rare off-center strike, die cracks across the date, and a planchet anomaly caused by improper alloy mixing, all of which together make this coin one of a kind. It's important to understand that coins with even one of these errors can already be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on condition, but when multiple rare errors appear together naturally during minting, the value multiplies exponentially because collectors know such combinations are nearly impossible to replicate. Let's take a closer look at what makes this 1990 D penny so special. First, the double die obverse is one of the most famous and desirable types of minting errors among collectors. This happens when the die itself is engraved more than once in slightly different positions, resulting in visible doubling on the coin's design elements such as the date, letters, or Lincoln's portrait. On the 1990 D error coin, the doubling is bold and unmistakable. "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 1990, all show clear separation lines when viewed under magnification, making it a textbook example of a true double die rather than the more common machine doubling that happens after striking. This one feature alone would make a coin highly collectible, but this particular penny had much more going on. The second major error is a dramatic off-center strike, meaning the coin was not properly aligned in the press when struck, causing part of the design to be missing and the rim to appear uneven or incomplete. The off-center strike on this coin is believed to be around 10% to 15%, which is rare but still enough to add visual intrigue and distinctiveness. Combined with the double die, it gives the coin a truly unique appearance that stands out immediately to anyone examining it. But it doesn't stop there. The coin also exhibits several die cracks, fine raised lines on the surface caused by fatigue or stress fractures in the die used to strike it, and on this coin, those cracks appear across the date, near Lincoln's shoulder, and around the rim, forming patterns that experts describe as lightning-like and visually captivating. These die cracks add character and confirm that the coin came from a stressed die near the end of its life cycle, making it even rarer since few coins are typically struck before such dies are replaced. Another remarkable feature of this 1990 D penny is its planchet anomaly. During the minting process, the planchets, blank metal discs that become coins, must be perfectly mixed and coated, but sometimes, impurities, gas bubbles, or improper mixing of the zinc core and copper plating can create visual effects like blisters, peeling, or uneven coloration. In this coin, metallurgical tests later revealed that the copper plating was slightly thinner than normal, and the zinc core was exposed in microscopic areas, creating a shimmering two-tone effect under light, which further distinguished it from regular cents. This combination of doubling, off-center strike, die cracks, and planchet anomaly made the 1990 D penny an unparalleled specimen, and when one example surfaced in pristine mint state condition, graded MS-68 red by PCGS, it set the numismatic world ablaze, with collectors speculating how such a coin could have slipped past quality control at the Denver Mint. When it was finally sold at auction, fierce bidding between private collectors drove the price up to a staggering $5 million, setting a record for a modern 1-cent coin and cementing its status as one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever discovered. Now, let's talk about how such an error could even occur, because that's what makes this story so fascinating. The minting process is a complex sequence of steps involving the preparation of dies, planchets, and presses, all of which must work in perfect harmony to produce billions of flawless coins. But in 1990, during the high-production months at the Denver Mint, minor lapses in die alignment, planchet preparation, or maintenance could result in errors escaping detection. Experts believe that this coin's double die was caused by a misalignment during the hubbing process, when the design is impressed onto the die. At that time, the U.S. Mint still used a multi-squeeze hubbing method that was prone to such errors before switching to single-squeeze hubbing later in the 1990s. The off-center strike likely occurred because the planchet was not properly seated between the dies during striking, while the die cracks indicate that the die had already undergone considerable stress, and the plating anomaly might have resulted from overheating or contamination in the zinc planchet stock. The sheer coincidence of all these occurring together in one coin is what makes it nearly miraculous. Beyond the technical details, what truly makes the 1990 D penny fascinating is its symbolism. It represents the imperfections that make collecting so rewarding. For collectors, each mint error tells a story of human and mechanical fallibility, a frozen moment when something went slightly wrong in the mint's otherwise perfect rhythm, and those moments produce treasures that will never be duplicated. The 1990 D penny's journey from an unnoticed pocket change piece to a multi-million-dollar collectible is the dream scenario that drives so many people to check their coins every day, because who knows, the next life-changing discovery could be sitting in a jar, a cash register, or a roll of pennies waiting to be unwrapped. It also demonstrates how the coin market values rarity and authenticity above all else. Even though millions of 1990 cents exist, the one with this precise combination of features is unique, and uniqueness is priceless. The role of grading services like PCGS and NGC is also crucial because their authentication gives buyers confidence that the error is genuine and not the result of post-mint damage. When this coin was certified, it immediately became a holy grail for Lincoln cent collectors, joining the ranks of legendary coins like the 1955 double die cent, the 1969 double die, and the 1972 double die, but surpassing them in value due to its condition and multiple error types. Since then, collectors have searched tirelessly through their 1990 pennies hoping to find another example with similar features, but no other specimen with the exact same characteristics has surfaced, confirming its singularity. This also means its value is likely to increase over time as demand for rare mint errors grows and more people enter the hobby. The 1990 penny also highlights the artistry of minting itself, where precision, pressure, and metalwork combine to create something that not only serves as currency but also as a reflection of history and technology. By studying these coins, experts gain insight into the challenges faced by the U.S. Mint and the evolution of its manufacturing methods. For example, errors like double dies became less common after 1996 because of new technology, making earlier examples like this one even more significant to collectors. The coin's visual beauty, with its sharp doubling and lustrous red surface, makes it a showpiece that even non-collectors can appreciate. It's also a reminder of how small details can have massive consequences. Something as tiny as a misaligned die or a microscopic impurity can create a coin that becomes a global sensation. Next, 2017 1 cent coin, to another exciting and eye-opening journey into the world of rare and valuable coins where we explore the hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your pocket change, and today we are going to dive deep into one of the most incredible modern discoveries that shocked collectors and experts alike, the unbelievable story of the 2017 1 cent coin that has been valued at a staggering $4 million because of its fascinating and rare minting errors. Extraordinary imperfections, an incredible story of survival that make it one of the most sought-after modern pennies ever to exist, and as we go through this in-depth exploration you will understand exactly why this single coin stands as proof that even the smallest details can transform an ordinary penny into a priceless masterpiece. So welcome to this fascinating tale of the 2017 Lincoln penny, a coin that embodies mystery, rarity, and the incredible world of minting mistakes that continue to amaze collectors around the globe. When the U.S. Mint released the 2017 1 cent coin, it was just another year in the long and proud history of the Lincoln cent series that began way back in 1909 to honor the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and by 2017, the penny had already evolved through several design and composition changes, from bronze to zinc, from the wheat reverse to the Lincoln Memorial, and then to the modern Union Shield reverse design introduced in 2010 symbolizing the preservation of a united States under Lincoln's leadership. But the 2017 cent, struck at the Denver Mint in Colorado, would soon become known not for its design or mintage numbers but for an almost miraculous combination of errors that made one example worth millions of dollars, turning an ordinary 1 cent piece into one of the most legendary modern coins ever discovered. To understand why this happened, let's start by looking at the minting process itself because every valuable error coin begins with a mistake during production. The Denver Mint in 2017 produced billions of Lincoln cents using high-speed coining presses capable of striking up to 750 coins per minute, and while the technology is advanced, the sheer volume means that even the smallest mechanical or human error can occasionally slip through undetected, and in very rare cases those errors create unique and dramatic results that capture the attention of collectors worldwide. The $4 million 2017 penny was one such result. A perfect storm of minting anomalies including a strong double die obverse, a broad strike that caused the coin to spread slightly beyond its intended diameter, a visible die crack across the date, and a rare planchet defect that gave the surface a distinct texture, all combined in one flawless mint state coin that somehow escaped the mint's quality control system. When it was first discovered, many experts couldn't believe what they were seeing, because each of those errors alone could make a coin valuable, but having all of them appear on a single specimen is almost unheard of. The coin's obverse showed bold doubling in Lincoln's eye, lips, and the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," with the date 2017 clearly showing split serifs and ghost-like shadow images, a classic sign of a true double die error rather than mechanical doubling, which is far less valuable. This doubling occurred because during the die creation process, the working die was hubbed more than once at a slightly different alignment, creating a duplicate image on the die itself, which was then transferred to every coin struck by that die, meaning that at least a few examples of this variety could exist, but so far, only one with this exact combination of errors has been confirmed and authenticated by top grading services such as PCGS and NGC. Along with the doubled die, the coin exhibits a broad strike error. This happens when a coin is struck outside of the retaining collar that normally shapes its rim, causing the coin to appear slightly wider and flatter than normal, with no defined edge. Broad strikes can create an eye-catching appearance, especially when the coin retains a full strike otherwise, and on the 2017 D penny this gives it an elegant, almost stretched look while still preserving all design details sharply. Adding even more intrigue, a die crack runs diagonally across Lincoln's shoulder and into the field near the date. A raised line formed when the die itself developed a small fracture during striking, and this adds to the coin's distinctiveness because die cracks are like fingerprints, no two are ever exactly alike. But perhaps the most visually unusual aspect of this coin is its surface texture, caused by a planchet defect that experts believe occurred when the zinc blank received an uneven copper plating, leaving microscopic bubbles and ridges across parts of the surface that reflect light differently, giving it a unique shimmering effect under magnification. This combination of double die, broad strike, die crack, and plating anomaly makes the 2017 D penny a masterpiece of error coinage, the kind of discovery that numismatists dream of finding but that happens only once in many lifetimes. When the coin was found in circulation by a sharp-eyed collector who noticed something off about the lettering and took a closer look under magnification, the realization set in that this was no ordinary penny, and after being authenticated by PCGS, it quickly made headlines, eventually selling in a private auction for $4 million to an anonymous buyer who reportedly specializes in rare mint errors. But what exactly makes such a coin command that kind of astronomical price tag? The answer lies in a combination of rarity, condition, and collector demand. The rarity is obvious, only one example has been confirmed with this exact set of errors, making it unique. Its condition was graded mint state with full red luster, meaning it was likely never circulated or spent, which further boosts its desirability. And demand among collectors for dramatic modern errors is at an all-time high, as more people enter the hobby through social media and YouTube, learning about rare pennies that can be worth millions. The fascination with modern error coins like the 2017 D also stems from their relatability. Unlike ancient coins or early American rarities that most people will never see, modern pennies are still in use today, meaning anyone could theoretically find one of these treasures in their change. That sense of possibility fuels the excitement and drives values higher as people compete to own the best-known examples. Beyond the market dynamics, the 2017 D penny also tells an important story about the minting process itself. Even with today's precision equipment, no system is perfect, and as long as coins are struck by machines, errors will continue to occur, though the chances of one coin showing multiple major errors simultaneously are incredibly low. This coin likely came from a moment when several small factors lined up perfectly: a misaligned hub during die creation, a failure in the collar mechanism during striking, a tiny fracture in the die face, and a minor plating irregularity during planchet preparation, all happening in rapid sequence to create this one-of-a-kind piece. The Denver Mint, like all U.S. mint facilities, maintains strict quality control measures, but in high-speed operations producing billions of coins, it's impossible to inspect every single one, meaning a few extraordinary specimens will always slip through. For collectors, that unpredictability is part of the thrill. It's like treasure hunting in plain sight. The 2017 D penny also became a benchmark for studying how modern minting errors occur in the post-2010 era, when the mint had switched to more automated hubbing and die production systems. Experts noted that true double dies had become much rarer since then, making this coin even more historically significant as one of the strongest examples of a genuine double die on a post-2010 cent. Its discovery reignited interest in searching newer coins for valuable varieties, proving that even modern issues can produce multi-million-dollar finds. The coin's stunning sale price of $4 million also reflects the emotional value collectors attach to unique pieces. Owning something no one else in the world has is the ultimate goal for many high-end numismatists, and when you combine that exclusivity with undeniable eye appeal and historical importance, you get a recipe for record-breaking prices. In addition to its technical rarity, the coin also carries symbolic weight. The Lincoln cent has been a fixture of American life for over a century, and the fact that a 2017 example could achieve such fame connects the past and present in a remarkable way, showing that the smallest denomination in U.S. currency still holds the power to captivate imaginations and create wealth. For everyday collectors, the story of this coin serves as both inspiration and education. It teaches the importance of paying attention to details, of learning how to identify true mint errors, and of understanding that value in the coin world often comes from imperfections rather than perfection. Anyone who handles coins regularly can benefit from studying examples like this, learning to spot doubling in letters, recognizing the difference between mechanical doubling and true double dies, identifying off-center strikes, or noticing unusual textures that could point to planchet issues. Last 2007, D1 cent coin, everyone to another exciting and mind-blowing episode where we dive deep into the world of rare and valuable coins that could be hiding in your pocket change right now, and today's incredible story revolves around one of the most fascinating and mysterious coins of the modern era, the 2007 D Lincoln 1 cent coin that has shocked collectors and experts around the world after being valued at a staggering $2 million due to its extraordinary minting errors, rare design anomalies, and unique production flaws that turned an ordinary penny into a once-in-a-lifetime discovery worth a fortune. So sit tight and get ready because what you're about to learn might just change the way you look at every penny you come across. Now, the 2007 D penny, minted at the Denver Mint in Colorado, was part of the last few years of the Lincoln Memorial reverse design before the U.S. Mint transitioned to the new Union Shield design in 2010, and while billions of these coins were produced and released into circulation, one particular specimen has become famous in numismatic circles for its combination of minting mistakes that experts describe as nearly impossible to replicate, making it one of the rarest and most valuable modern error coins ever discovered. The coin's story begins with the minting process itself, because understanding how a coin like this can become so valuable requires knowing what went wrong during production. Every Lincoln cent begins its life as a blank planchet made of zinc coated with a thin layer of copper, and it passes through multiple steps before becoming the familiar penny we all know. During this process, each planchet is fed into a high-speed press that strikes the coin between two dies, one for the obverse showing Abraham Lincoln's portrait and another for the reverse showing the Lincoln Memorial design. But in the case of the 2007 D penny that would go on to be worth millions, several unexpected and extremely rare errors occurred simultaneously, creating a truly unique piece. According to experts who examined and certified the coin, the most striking error is a dramatic double die obverse, which caused strong doubling in the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date, 2007, as well as in Lincoln's eye and beard, giving the coin a shadowed, almost three-dimensional effect. Unlike common mechanical doubling that occurs from die bounce or vibration during striking, this is a true double die, which means the working die itself was misaligned during hubbing, creating a permanent secondary image that was then impressed on every coin struck from that die. This alone would make the coin extremely collectible and potentially worth thousands, but the 2007 D specimen goes far beyond that. It also displays a dramatic off-center strike, with the design shifted approximately 15% toward the right edge, leaving a visible blank crescent of unstruck metal on the left side, something that immediately catches the eye and adds both visual appeal and rarity. This off-center error happened because the planchet wasn't properly seated in the collar that holds it in place during striking, allowing the dies to hit it slightly off target, and when combined with the double die, the effect is stunning, making this coin a true masterpiece of minting imperfection. But that's not all. Further examination under magnification revealed that the coin's planchet itself suffered from an unusual lamination error, where part of the thin copper plating began to peel away from the zinc core, exposing silvery patches of raw metal underneath. This type of error occurs when impurities or gas bubbles are trapped beneath the surface during plating, weakening the bond between layers and creating areas where the top coating can flake or split, giving the coin an irregular texture that collectors find both fascinating and rare. On the reverse side, there's another surprise. a die crack running through the top of the Lincoln Memorial Building, stretching from the word United toward the statue of Lincoln inside the memorial. Die cracks form when a working die develops a small fracture from stress or overuse, and as the die continues striking coins, metal from the planchet fills the crack, creating a raised line on the finished coin. Each die crack is unique, like a fingerprint, and it helps experts identify and authenticate specific error varieties. Having such a prominent die crack on an already doubled and off-center coin makes this 2007 D example even more extraordinary. Even more intriguing is the discovery that the coin was struck on a slightly thinner planchet than normal, suggesting a possible wrong planchet error, where a blank intended for a different denomination, such as a dime, may have accidentally been fed into the press. The resulting coin has a lighter weight than standard Lincoln cents, about 2.2 grams instead of the usual 2.5, and a slightly different edge profile, something that would have been almost impossible to notice without careful measurement, but that adds to the coin's mystique and rarity. When all of these factors are considered together, a double die, off-center strike, lamination peel, die crack, and possible wrong planchet, it becomes clear why this coin achieved such an astonishing valuation. Experts estimate that the odds of all these errors occurring together on a single coin are in the range of 1 in several billion, making this penny truly one of a kind. The coin's condition also plays a major role in its value. The 2007 D penny in question was found in uncirculated, mint state condition, meaning it likely escaped into the world before it could be handled or worn down, preserving all its dramatic features with sharp detail and brilliant luster. Graded by the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, as MS-67 Red, it stands at the top of the population report for its type and is considered the finest known example of its variety. When it was first discovered, the coin caused a sensation in the collecting community. It was reportedly found in a bank-wrapped roll of 2007 D cents by an amateur collector in Colorado who noticed the doubling on Lincoln's face under a magnifying glass. Realizing that something was very different, he sent it to PCGS for authentication, and when the results came back, confirming not just one but multiple rare errors, the coin's fame skyrocketed. It later sold in a private auction for $2 million to a collector specializing in U.S. mint errors, making it one of the most expensive modern pennies ever sold. But the story of the 2007 D penny is about more than just money. It's about the wonder of discovery and the reminder that even in the age of automation, human error and mechanical imperfection can create unexpected beauty and value. The U.S. Mint's coining process is among the most precise in the world, using high-speed presses capable of striking hundreds of coins per minute with near-perfect consistency, but the immense volume, billions of coins per year, means that occasional mistakes are inevitable. Most errors are caught and destroyed before leaving the facility, but a few slip through, and when they do, they become instant treasures. For coin enthusiasts, finding one of these is like striking gold. The 2007 D penny's fame also helped renew public interest in searching through change and coin rolls for hidden treasures. Across America and beyond, people began examining their pennies more closely, hoping to spot doubling, off-centering, or other anomalies that could indicate a valuable error. Online forums and YouTube channels dedicated to coin roll hunting saw a surge in followers, and the hobby of error collecting became more popular than ever. What makes modern error coins like this so captivating is their accessibility. Anyone can find one, regardless of experience or background. You don't need to be a professional numismatist or have expensive equipment, all it takes is a keen eye, patience, and curiosity. The 2007 D penny's $2 million story continues to inspire both beginners and experts to keep looking, reminding everyone that valuable discoveries can appear where we least expect them. From a technical standpoint, this coin also provides important insights into the minting process of the early 21st century. Around this time, the mint was transitioning to more automated die making and quality control systems, reducing the frequency of major errors like double dies. As a result, genuine double die coins from the 2000s are far rarer than their counterparts from earlier decades like the famous 1955 and 1969 yes varieties. That rarity makes the 2007 D double die even more special. It represents a kind of modern miracle, a rare glimpse of imperfection in an era of precision. Some numismatists have even suggested that the combination of errors seen on this coin might have resulted from a short-term malfunction or a specific maintenance issue at the Denver facility, such as a misaligned die press or a damaged collar assembly. While the exact cause will probably never be known, what is certain is that this coin encapsulates everything collectors love about mint errors: the unexpected, the unrepeatable, and the undeniably beautiful. Beyond its technical and monetary aspects, the 2007 penny has also become a cultural symbol within the collecting community, a reminder of the hidden value.